Oh, oh, okay. Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you my reading plans for the month of November. There are a couple of things going on in November that, reading-wise, that I'm looking forward to taking part in. The major one being Nonfiction November. Super stoked for that, so I'm going to share with you some of my plans for that. I'm also going to take part in the Buzzwordathon that's hosted by BooksandLala, and oh, I can't remember her other, the co-host. Anyway, I'll link it down below, but that one is later on in the month, and I don't really know yet what I'm doing for that one, so I'll probably post a different video about that. Yeah, and November in general is just like a big month for my family. My daughter's 5th birthday is in November, and she's having a big birthday party this year, so we're doing that. And then my gram is turning 90, so we're having a birthday party for her, and then of course we have Thanksgiving and the kickoff to the holidays. Yeah, it's a month. So let me go ahead and just dive in with my TBR. It's kind of a mixed bag, as you would expect from me. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Okay, so as of right now, I am planning on 2 fiction books for the month. The first one is for my local book club. We chose it. We are going to read the book and then go see the movie sometime in November. That book is Motherless Brooklyn by Jonathan Lethem, I believe is how you say it. And I had never heard of this book until I saw the trailer for the movie, and then our book club chose it. And I'm really glad because it looks like a really interesting story. It's kind of a detective story, and it deals with a guy named Lionel who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and he has Tourette's syndrome. So he has various tics about him, and he works for this mob boss in Brooklyn and is kind of taken care of by this guy because of his condition. He feels kind of like a human freak show. So he's doing a job that isn't necessarily a legal sort of thing, but he feels like he's taken care of. And yeah, well, then this mob boss gets stabbed, and so he kind of starts to investigate what's going on, who did this to him and why, all while trying to come to terms with his Tourette's. So yeah, it's like a detective novel, but then it kind of has that as a storyline also, so it sounds really cool. Yeah, the movie looks awesome, so I'm looking forward to diving into this one. Then the other fiction book I am planning to read in November is This Book is Full of Spiders by David Wong. This is the sequel to John Dies at the End, which I read in early 2018, so I don't know what I've been doing, why I haven't read this book sooner, but I have been really wanting to read this. I don't know if it's the length or what, because it is almost 500 pages. I don't really know the plot, and I don't really want to, because John Dies at the End was such a weird, just friggin' weird book that I feel like this is just going to be more of that, and I'm ready for it. Okay, so then I have next on my TBR 2 books that are nonfiction that I know I'm going to read in November. And then I have a few that I'm on the fence about, or that I'm not sure about, that maybe you guys can help me with. The first nonfiction book I will definitely be reading in November is Wild Game, My Mother, Her Lover, and Me by Adrienne Brodeur. This was on my October TBR, and I never got to it, so I'm going to read it in November, and it works out because it is a memoir, so yeah. So I talked about this a little bit in my October TBR, but to reiterate, it is about Adrienne, who, as a child, I believe, became aware that her mother was having an affair with her dad's, like, one of his best friends, and helps her keep it a secret, which is really messed up, but has me perplexed and interested, and I want to know how that worked out and what that did to that relationship, the mother-daughter relationship. So yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about this. It was a book of the month pick. That's why I have it. But I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about it. So yeah, I will be definitely reading this one. It's pretty short, so I should not have a problem getting through it this month. And then the other for sure nonfiction book I'm going to be reading is Voices from Chernobyl, The Oral History of a Nuclear Disaster by Svetlana Alexievich. I know I'm saying that wrong. Alexievich? I don't know. I apologize. Like a lot of people, I watched the Chernobyl miniseries on HBO and was floored. It was outstanding. I actually have watched it twice because I watched it and then my husband finally broke down and decided to watch it, so I rewatched it with him because it was so good. So good, so scary in that it really happened and it was just nuts. And it got me wanting to read more or learn more about Chernobyl, and also just kind of nuclear power in general, because I went into that miniseries not knowing anything about how nuclear reactors worked and everything, and I learned something from that miniseries. So maybe I will also try to read in the future things about that. But for now, I am still very much interested in Chernobyl and the after effects, the effects during and after this nuclear disaster. I don't feel like I need to really explain what Chernobyl was. I feel like people know what it was and the devastation that it caused. And this is like, I'm surprised when I got this book. It's a short little book. It's under 250 pages, but I'm really looking forward to this because I love books like this where you take a major event and you literally are just talking and getting anecdotal stories from various people that lived through that experience. I love that, and I know this is going to be very sad, very disturbing. It's probably going to make me angry because watching the Chernobyl miniseries made me sort of angry. Yeah, so I am looking forward to this, but not in like the way that like I'm going to like enjoy myself, because I know this is like a very serious, very heavy topic. But I'm looking forward to learning more about the effects of this disaster. Okay, so I have 4 more books here that are nonfiction that I chose off of my TBR shelves because they are available in audiobook either on Scribd or Overdrive as of today. I know that may change, but I can't decide which one I think I want to listen to, because my plan is to, whatever one I choose, I'm going to be listening to it on audio. So maybe you guys can help me out. The first 2 are memoirs. The first one being Running with Scissors by Augustine Burroughs. This is Augustine's account of his childhood, and it was very unconventional. I think there were a number of people in his family that had mental illness, I believe, and it was kind of just his experience growing up in that sort of environment. I've heard it's quirky. So there are things about it obviously that are sad, but there's also parts that kind of make you laugh. So we'll see. So this is a possibility. The other memoir is Boy Erased, a memoir of identity, faith, and family by, here on my book, by, is it Gerard or Gerard? I want to say it's Gerard. It's got to be Gerard, right? Conley. And this is his account of, he came out to his parents who were devoutly religious. And when he came out to them, they sent him to one of those conversion camps where they try to pray the gay out of you or whatever it is they do, which to me is complete nonsense. But his family did that, and it's about his experience with that. So again, this is probably going to piss me off greatly, and make me very sad, but I feel like it's a story that I am interested in. Yeah, so this is also a possibility. The next 2 are a little more dense. One in particular, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, dude, I don't know about you. The first one is The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. This is like a really famous nonfiction book that I'm surprised, I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but it's very like dense, like physically, like it's heavy. And it's about this killer, it's like serial killer that was on the loose during the World's Fair in 1893. and kind of terrorize the area. And then I believe in this book, he also speculates that that basically it was the same person was Jack the Ripper, is what I think is talked about in here. I'm not sure. So I've heard this is really good, but that it is also a little bit dense. So I guess we'll see, maybe, if I decide to do this one. And then the last one is the one where I'm just like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking about listening to the audiobook of Cosmos by Carl Sagan, because I feel like if I'm going to read this book, audiobook is probably the only way for me to do that. Science-based books tend to not hold my attention when I'm physically reading them, but if I'm listening to it, it goes much better. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I don't know. I'm a little scared of this book. So I don't know, guys. Let me know, of these 4, which one should I go with? I don't know. I'm gonna kind of play it by ear. When the time comes, I'll just see what I'm in the mood for, but I would love to also hear your guys' input. What one do you think is a good fit for me for Nonfiction November? So yeah, those are my reading plans. I'm pretty excited because as I've said before, love nonfiction. I always read it throughout the year, but this is the month where I really tried to increase it a little bit. And I have so many nonfiction books on my shelves. It was really hard to like narrow it down to what I felt like I could actually read in a reasonable time, like in a month. Because yeah, there's a lot of options and there's so many things and topics that I want to read about, but these are the ones I decided to go with. So anyway, let me know down below what you're planning to read in November. If you're taking part in Nonfiction November, let me know what you're going to be reading. I know that Olive from abookolive does have prompts for Nonfiction November. I'm not going to go by those just because, I don't know, I kind of already had some books picked out that I wanted that didn't necessarily go with the prompts, so I was like, I'm just not going to do the prompts. But I'll also link that info down below if you're interested in seeing the prompts and maybe going by those if you want to. Yeah, and if you're not reading nonfiction, let me know what you're reading regardless, because I want to hear. So yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful November. I know I'm going to be not only reading my butt off, but also just busy with life stuff. But I hope you guys have a great month, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.